Most founders think that scaling to 7 figures is about getting lucky with a viral post or finding a magical ad interest. They spend their day guessing what to do next instead of following a rigorous mathematical process. They sign a client and they start scratching their heads because they don't have a standardized launch protocol. But the truth is that business is not a mystery. It's a sport played on a spreadsheet. It is as boring as it sounds. If you aren't making money every single day, it's because your infrastructure is frankly broken. True wealth means having the speed to generate 10, 20k every single day, knowing that if you spend it today, it's back tomorrow. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact technical stack and the operational flow we use to turn info businesses into high-frequency revenue machines. And my name is Wojciech Dąbrowski. I specialize in building one-to-many systems that allow high-ticket offers to scale without breaking. So if you're a coach, consultant, high-ticket business owner, you definitely need to watch this video until the end, because I don't look just at the marketing. I look also at the sales capacity, the tracking accuracy, and the financial modeling that dictates every move we make. I've audited thousands of sales calls and managed over 7 figures in ad spend. And I can tell you that most scaling problems are actually just tracking or process problems. And today I'm pulling back the curtain on the exact onboarding and launch sequence we used to ensure no money is left on the table. And I learned this lesson hard way, scaling my own agency from 0 to 50k per month in just 6 months, literally from 0. So I'm sharing you the lessons I learned during that time, and also the lessons I learned while I'm scaling new clients and their info offers. So let's dive into it. Before you ever think about launching, your infrastructure must be dialed in. So we use a specific set of tools to ensure we are engineering growth rather than hoping for it. For CRM, I bias towards HubSpot because it's the most robust for managing complex lead flows. However, for your sales team, you need a dedicated closer CRM, like Close.com, to track call performance and follow-ups effectively. In one of my agencies, we use Pipedrive CRM, so if you want to get 30-day of free test period, you can click the link in the description and get that for free to test it out. When it comes to landing pages, it should be built on ClickFunnels, GHL or Perspective, depending on which one gives you the highest conversion rate for your specific niche, because it can also vary. And the most important part is tracking. If you aren't using Hyros or Triple Whale, you're essentially working for your competitors because you are flying blind. You need to know exactly where every dollar is coming from, so you can double down on what works and cut what doesn't. Finally, for communication reporting, we use Slack to house everything from call recordings to admin reports, so the operations remain transparent. So once the tech stack is ready, the very next step is the financial model. You cannot build anything until you have set expectations through numbers. We always run 3 scenarios for our clients: conservative, predictable, and best case. This model doesn't just project revenue, it calculates salesperson capacity. We need to know exactly how many setters and closers are required to handle the lead volume we are planning to generate. Sorry, frankly, if you don't know your numbers, you don't have a business. You have a high-stress hobby. When you have a financial model, business becomes a sport because you're simply trying to hit the KPIs you've already laid out on paper. I want to share with you a story about one of my students who was stuck in long-term play mode. He was so focused on building a perfect brand that he was forgetting to pay his rent at the end of the month. I told him, you have to be aware that every day you aren't making money is a day you are failing. So I challenged him to stop overthinking and start executing with the audience he already had. So within 15 minutes of our call, he put up a calculated story sequence on his private Instagram. He stopped waiting for high-level production, film, crew, or a perfect script. That simple 15-minute execution resulted in 8.8k in immediate revenue from people who were already watching him. The lesson here is that content is the game, but speed is the frequency. So once you realize people are willing to give you money, your only job is to find the engine that allows them to do it every single day. And honestly, I used to be the same like I'm a student, that I was overthinking, over-perfecting everything, creating perfect website, perfect everything before even pitching businesses. And that's genuinely stupid. So if you're trying to build your own agency, be aware of that. That's the one thing that's keeping you from actually scaling. And yeah, when it comes to scaling a high-ticket offer, it requires a hammer them strategy. So a combination of short-form and long-form content that keeps you top of mind. I learned that strategy of one of the best marketers currently in the 21st century when it comes to info products and high-ticket businesses. So I'm not the inventor of this strategy, but I use it heavily in my businesses and my clients' businesses. So we typically aim for 2 free YouTube long-form videos and 5 short-form clips per week. But the real magic happens in the email nurture sequence. When someone enters your sales process, you should be sending up to 6 emails per day to educate and indoctrinate them. Obviously, these emails cannot be spam. They are value-dense assets that handle objections before the call, before the sales call even starts. So if you have 50 to 70% open rate on your nurture emails, you know your messaging is hitting the mark. We use these emails to share case studies, explain the unique mechanism of the offer, and answer frequently asked questions. By the way, I did a video about unique mechanisms, so if you want to watch it to learn how you can differentiate yourself in the market, that's a good video because it's very practical. I give you exact formula to use. And by the time the prospect gets on the call, they should already feel like they know you, like and trust you. Because remember, signing a client is just the beginning. The goal is to extract more value through sophisticated backend systems. As a growth operators, we use payment processors with viewer access so we can track exactly how much money we are making for our clients in the real time. We also implement financing options like Split It, Klarna, or Coach financing to lower the barrier to entry for high-ticket offers. This allows us to maintain high prices while making the cash out of pocket manageable for the prospects. Every single aspect of the process, from the initial lead magnet to the final wire transfer, is a system that can be optimized. So if you're doing like 20-50K per month and you feel stuck in this bracket, it's likely because you are the bottleneck in your own process. And I was in the same situation. And my job is to come in and replace your manual labor, automated systems, and trained personnel. So if you're tired of hope marketing and you want to install a predictable revenue engine, we could help you. Whether you need a full down for you, backend build, or strategic scaling consulting to fix your current bottlenecks, the path is clear. We audit your tech, fix your tracking, and train your team to operate at a 7-figure frequency. So obviously check the links in the description to see which option fits your current needs, because you can book a strategy scaling call using the link below in the description, or you can message me on Instagram if you have specific question today about your business. And one more thing. The difference between a rich person and a struggling person is the frequency they operate on. Rich means moving with speed and trusting your infrastructure to catch the growth. You have to find what makes you unique, whether it's your personality, your solution, or your flamboyant style, and double down on it. Market research is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing deep dive into why your clients actually buy. So stop guessing and start measuring every single metric in your business. Once your business is a spreadsheet, you can finally stop worrying and start playing the game to win. By the way, if the video resonated with you, I highly recommend you to watch different video when I was interviewed by Jordan Belfort's marketer. Yes, the Wolf of Wall Street. We met each other in Milan, Italy, and we spoke a little bit about marketing, sales, and my story, how I built my new agency from 0 to 50K per month in profit in just 6 months. So you can learn a little bit about my mindset, my frameworks, and my story. Highly recommend it. And by the way, if you like the video, hit the subscribe button, click the like and comment, because I'm going to throw much more bangers about scaling info businesses in 2026 and beyond. So yeah, appreciate you being here, watching up to this point, and see you in the next one.